Hello everybody, Big Planes here, and today I'll be giving you a demonstration and a bit of a walkthrough on how the flaps of my custom LEGO 737 work. So let's get right into it. To be completely honest, I sort of stole the flap design from the 747 for the 737. They're basically the same. The 737-500 uses the trifold Fowler flaps, which are the same that the 7400 series uses. These trifold flaps were very tough to engineer, and I just wanted to take them from the 747 because they're basically the same, other than a few changes here and there, and they're already working so well on the 747, I just wanted to use them on the 737. The way these work is decently simple. You first want to fold this flap right here in, which is the third one. On some of them I know they didn't bring these down all the way, but on the 500 they were triple slotted. So you pull this up first, and then the entire thing folds up like this. And then after you fold this up, this one folds into the solution before it, and then the entire flap folds directly into the wing. After you do that, you're actually going to want to pull up these flap tracks on the bottom of the wings. These would have been actually where the tracks for the flaps would have been held on the real plane, but on my plane they're more of just a decoration. The outboard flaps work in a very similar way. You have the outer flap here, which sort of folds right in like this. These are triple slotted flaps, by the way. And then this whole thing right here folds straight up like this. This right here then slots directly into the slot beneath it. And then the entire assembly folds straight into the wing like so. So that is what they look like when they're retracted, and this is what they look like when they're extended. I'm actually pretty happy with how these flaps turned out in the long run. At first I wouldn't think I would like them because they were kind of bulky and didn't look great, I thought, but it was actually really fun to design and engineer them. They're very challenging to work with, especially on these angled wings, because you have to angle the flap tracks, the main one for this one, into the wings, which limits how much structural support you can put on the inside. The ones where they're parallel to the body, like this one, are much easier because they slide just straight in, but these ones where they're angled, they have to be angled correctly, and they have to have the correct angle of the wing. So as you can see over here, I tried to keep this as flush as I could, and to try to keep the angle of the wing as accurate as I could keep it. I did think it worked out pretty well, and the flap tracks are mostly on the outboard flaps. There weren't any on the inboard flaps on the 500 model. There were inboard flap tracks on the 600, or not the 600, the 7 and 800 in the next gen models, but on the classic 737s, I don't believe there were any flap tracks. If I'm wrong, please be sure to correct me in the comment section. I am always wrong on things, so of course that could be one. But yeah, see, these are what they look like retracted on this side, and these are what they look like when they're no, these are retracted and these are extended. Sorry, I got that mixed up a little bit. So yeah, that's the flaps on the 737. Like I said before, they were mostly derived from the flaps over on the 747. These are much larger, obviously, and put much more of a strain on the wing. And they took a little bit more to engineer, mostly because that was those were the first tri-slotted flaps that I made, and I just sort of carried the design over here to the 737, but I actually really like how they look. And the flaps on this are actually one of the most complicated I've ever done, because most flaps are just single slotted flaps. B-52 is a good example of only using single slotted flaps. The way these work is they slide out once like this, pulling the wrong one here, like that, and then they fall down like this. The other flap on this side works in a very similar way. It just folds right out and slide straight down. That's what the flaps look like on the B-52. Again, these are just single slotted flaps. I hope that you enjoyed this quick video on the 737, and I will be having more videos on the 737 coming out in the near future, and I will be having more videos on the 747 coming out in the near future as well. And of course, I have been making some progress on the 787 project over there, so when that one's ready to have an update video made for it, I will make one. So that's all I really have for this video, and bye for now.